Welcome back to Books and Beyond with that guy Jay. Before we get into the guest this week, you know what time it is? We've got to do the watch of the day. Today's watch of the day is the Casio F108WH. This is a super affordable watch. I liked it because it kind of gives the appearance of the G-Shock DW5600. This is actually a watch that I found in a movie. I love finding watches that are related to either a movie or a show. This was worn by Miles Teller in the movie War Dogs in a couple of scenes. I thought it was kind of cool that it had that movie tie-in and it kind of looks like a G-Shock. But anyways, yeah, I believe this is about $17, $18, very affordable. It's got all the Casio features that you'd expect: timer, alarm, all of those things. And it's just a great, simple, everyday kind of watch. As always, if you enjoy this content, if you could please leave a like and subscribe if you're not already, I would greatly appreciate it. But let's get to our guest of the week. Welcome to Books and Beyond with That Guy Jay. I am your host, That Guy Jay. I am joined today by Sam Boyd Reeds, one of my mutuals on BookTok. Thank you so much for joining me.
Of course, I'm so excited.
Now
Never done
I'll
this
start
before.
start you off super easy here. I try and ask
Okay.
everybody this question first. I sometimes forget, but what are you currently reading?
Oh my gosh. Well, I just finished Morning Star by Pierce Brown this morning. So technically I'm still reading The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I'm like 75% of the way into that. So
I haven't gotten to that one yet. Morningstar was a fantastic one. I think it's a toss up. I really liked Golden Sun a lot too, but I think Morningstar might have edged it out for me as my
I
favorite
agree.
in the initial trilogy.
100% agree with that. Yeah. I think that last like 15% of that book just made it
Yeah,
all. Yeah.
blew my mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now let's go back and start at the beginning.
Okay.
Have you always been a reader, or is this something newer to life?
Yes and no. I definitely took a good 10 years probably off during college in my younger days. But as a kid, into high school, I was reading all the time. So yeah, for sure. And then just, I would say like a little before COVID, is when I really, really dove headfirst back into it. And my collection just continues to grow. Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have, but it's a never-ending problem, it seems. Yeah, see,
Yes.
I was a very late in life reader. I didn't read at
Okay.
all until I was in my 20s. Like, I was that high school kid that was like, I'm never gonna read a book.
Yeah,
And
that's lame. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I was like, this is so dumb. I'll never do this once we're out of school. And then uh, I was, peak Cliff Notes years. That's how I got through
Got it.
English classes. And
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
yeah, sorry about that, mom.
Mm.
Um, but I also took a very big break. I used to read a lot. I lived in New York City, and I would read a ton on the train. And then life just got busy, and I moved around a bunch and wasn't commuting on the train anymore. And it's like
Yeah.
my daughter was getting older, and it's like hard to find time with kids. But now she's a teenager, so I have nothing but time.
You have a teenager? Oh my god. I
Yeah,
can't believe
she'll
that. I can't believe that.
yeah she'll be 16 in August.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
god. I have a almost 12-year-old stepdaughter, but
Ooh,
um
that's tough. Middle school is tough.
yep, she
Middle
starts this
school
year.
girls are tough.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
it's a lot. Now, what kind of books did you read when you were younger? Were you into fantasy back then? Because I know that you've gotten into that. You were? Okay.
Yeah, I was a Harry Potter girl, Hunger Games, and then of course Twilight. I'm trying to even think of other like series. I remember going to the beach, like I actually just came back from Bethany Beach, and we used to go there every summer as a kid, and we'd go into the Bethany Beach bookstore, and I would pick out something random. And I don't know if you know Christopher Moore. I would say I probably shouldn't have been reading him as a younger child, but like the covers are very cartoony looking, so it was deceiving, and it was definitely like a vampire relationship, but it was funny. It was very quirky funny. I would equate that almost to my dungeon crawler Carl esque like fascination, I would say.
Oh,
um
okay.
so I think I like the quirky funny kind of storylines where it does, and everything doesn't have to be so serious. Like you can be a little bit more freeform. But I remember reading his books on the beach every single year, and I actually don't own any. Otherwise, I would like show and tell. But yeah, I would say primarily fantasy was what I was into. So
Yeah, it took me a while to get to fantasy. I started in my 20s with thrillers. I got really
okay.
like into Harlan Coben for a while, like for many years. I read all of his books. And then when the Game of Thrones show came out, everyone was talking about it at work, and I'm the kind of person where I have to read the book first.
Oh
So I
no.
was like, all right, let me get into this. And then like I actually flew through that series, like the first few books, and then I watched the show and I was like, maybe I am a fantasy person, because as a teenager I never thought I was. Like I liked the Lord of the Ring movies, but that was probably the only fantasy I really ever got into.
So did you watch the last season of Game of Thrones?
I mean, yeah.
Okay,
I
all
don't
right.
I didn't
Like,
I
well,
didn't
you
love it.
can't.
I
Stop.
pretend it didn't exist, but
Right, right. Oh, that'll
I was
never. He'll
actually
never
thinking
write it. He'll never
I was
finish.
like, well, I have a theory there. I've said this before too.
Okay.
This is my Delulu take. This is my one bookish Delulu take. I think he's done with the books, but he knows that the fans have become so insufferable, he'll release them when he's dead. That's my theory, because things went so poorly with the last season of the show
Yes,
that I really feel like he's like, I don't want to deal with these people. They're crazy.
I could
And
see that.
half the audience is crazy.
I mean, I remember being a little ticked off about. I, see, I'm trying to censor myself. I remember being fucking pissed.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Oh,
it
yeah,
was so bad. Even season, what was it? There was 8 seasons.
yeah. Season 8
Even
was good.
season 7 only being 7 episodes. I was like, "What is this?" Like, we can't even get 10 full episodes, and they were terrible.
Did you go into House of
I
the Dragon?
watched season 1, and I just haven't picked it up since then. Again, because I haven't read that book, and I'm like, "I should probably read the book," and I just keep putting it off.
I was gonna say I didn't even know. Yeah, I don't know. It's good. I like it.
My biggest issue with current TV is it's better than ever in one sense, because, like, HBO used to have the best shows because they weren't cable, and they could have the violence, and they could have the cursing and all of those things.
Mhm.
Now everything is that, but they've all
Yeah.
decided to take like 3 years between seasons, and it's like, so it's like I have to wait like 9 years for this to be complete so I can binge it, like, it's too
Yep.
much.
I mean, we already have to wait for books to come out like a year or more, depending on the author. So,
And
yeah,
then
I don't watch too much TV if I'm being honest. Not
I don't
anymore.
either, and I'm also so spoiled that, with, like, the bingeability of shows, so now that some networks have gone back to 1 episode a week, I'm like, "I can't do
Yeah.
that. You
Nope.
guys got me hooked on binging, I'm not going back."
Our
Like
attention span is too short. You can't do that.
like HBO did that, and I'm like, with most of their shows, I'm like, all right, I just have to avoid spoilers, wait
Hmm.
for the season to be over, and then watch it in 2 days.
Well, and that's
Like
also the problem with social media too. If your algorithm knows that you like certain things, like you'll get nothing but that content and ruin it. Ugh.
yeah, yeah,
So
it's frustrating. But with social media, when did you jump onto Book Talk, and did you start by making content or just consuming content? Because I was like 2+ years of being a Book Talk fan, and I just never thought I
oh.
would post.
So your girl jumped right in. I
Yeah.
it's probably been about 2 years, I would say, at this point. But I have to preface this with I used to do YouTube years ago for makeup. So I was used to talking in front of the
Okay.
camera and doing like the long form content. And I know that's an issue for a lot of people is just that fear of getting over, talking to your phone basically, or, showing your face or yeah, exactly. So
That
like
was
I
me.
didn't have that initial anxiety doing that. I actually feel way more comfortable talking to a phone or talking on the laptop here than in person sometimes because I will just either ramble or I blank out. Like I don't know what I'm saying. So I don't know why. This just becomes way more comfortable. But yeah, it's probably been about 2 years, and I pretty much immediately started posting. I was part of the Akatar craze, I think, initially.
Yeah, see,
So
like, I think I found Book Talk in, like, I wanna say 2022 is when I first really picked up on it, and I think I made my first video in I made, like, 2 or 3 videos in 2023, but they were just, like, with an audio showing my bookshelf or
mhm.
showing like book mail, but like never showing me, never my
Yeah.
voice. And then finally, just it was actually last like April. I was like, all right, let me try this again and actually do it. And I was like, I tried a voiceover first and I hated it. I feel like
Yeah.
those are harder to do. And I was like, just sit in front of the camera. You just
Yes.
have to do it.
Yes. And I mean, we've been mutuals for a while now, I feel like. So,
Yes, since I started posting, I
yeah.
checked. I think it was around right when I started posting last year,
Yeah. We're
and
OG.
I would sit on the floor in
Yeah.
front of my bookshelf because that was the only place that had like good lighting. I didn't have lights. I didn't have anything, and then now I built my little setup here in my room.
And here we are today. Look at that.
It is it's so much fun though. It's like it is so like I've had people who don't have TikTok be like, "Isn't that kid's app?" And I'm like, "Well, it was. It's not anymore,
Mhm.
but it's so much fun." And the book talk community most of the time. I know there's some stuff going on now, especially with I wasn't aware that there was a book talk big 3. I don't recognize any of the names, so it's like, okay, this is news to me.
I couldn't even tell you who they were right now. And I saw a couple videos and I was like, what are they talking about? These people would have to be like, I want to say they can't be like genre specific. Like you'd have to be like kind of all encompassing if you're going to be labeled like a top 3 person. And I think one of them was just strictly smut. I'm like, that doesn't work. You don't speak for everybody.
A lot of people do think that book talk is just smut though, because like I've
100%.
mentioned book talk before, and that's what my daughter thinks it is. She's like,
Yeah,
"Oh God," and I'm like, "It's not all that." It's
I
I
think,
especially think that like the fantasy sci-fi corner is like just a super friendly and
yes.
welcoming place, and it's like there's so much fun conversation going on, and some teasing and banter amongst people with their favorite series. And then it's like you have someone like, I don't know if you follow Vic Reeds, where
Mhm.
he went on his like anti-romance campaign earlier this year, I think it was. I thought that was hilarious because I knew from the first second he was trolling.
I'm gonna
And it's
have
like
to
so many people.
go look at that because we just became friends, like probably 2 days ago.
Oh, his initial push was, I just saw one of his videos before we jumped on. That's why I thought about him. So what's up, Vic? But his whole initial push was like, was fuck romance books. Like he even had it in his bio. And then like within weeks, he read an Abby Jimenez book and was like, he gave it 5 stars and was like, he still kept the bid up though. And people would come across his videos and like lay into him. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, he's trolling. Like you just did exactly what he wanted.
It's so funny that you bring that up because I feel like I did the opposite. Like I started off in the romance, like romantasy, dark romance like genre, and I've completely like transformed to what they call the book talk bro space with the sci-fi fantasy kind of
Yeah.
realm. And I I don't know if I'm gonna get any flack for saying this, but I feel like I get so much more engagement and get in so many more conversations now than I did when I started on in those genres. I don't know if it's I don't want to say it's oversaturated or whatnot, but I just feel like people are more willing to have a conversation without um going at each other's throats
Yeah.
over different controversial topics, you know? So
I think this sci-fi and fantasy is more niche. Like
mhm,
even amongst the masses, like there's a smaller percentage of people that read this. So I
yeah,
think other people are just excited to see someone else into what they're into. Like
that's
no one's
true.
here for drama. It's just all
Yeah,
like, like I'll see some people give each other a hard time. Like if they don't like Red Rising, they'll pick on people who like it, and
yeah,
like it's all that stuff isn't good fun for the most part though. That's
right.
why I really like this corner of the internet.
Same,
This
same.
is like the first really positive corner of the internet I've ever been on, and I've been on the internet since the '90s. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah. I'm
like
here to
you
stay.
were on
I like this side.
you were on YouTube. YouTube comment sections are terrifying. I
I
had
couldn't look.
um I had one short go like viral to me.
Mhm.
Um it had like 110,000 views,
Yeah.
and the comments were not great because it was definitely me like doing something controversial. And I did it on TikTok and I was like, "Oh, I may as well just throw it up on shorts too." And
Yeah.
it was the thing, it was like it was with the Lady Gaga sound where it's like, I don't want to be friends.
Uh-huh.
And the text on screen I put was like, you walk into someone's house and all of their books are self-help books. And it's like so
Ugh.
many people are on YouTube for self-help reasons, and they laid into me and I was like, I am just not responding. This
Just
is
don't look at the comments on YouTube. That is not yeah, that's not safe for your mental health.
but Book Talk is like some of the most encouraging, like especially like I've seen people open up about having anxiety, which is
Yeah.
something I relate to, and it's like everyone in the comments is like, "No, you got this." Like
Yeah,
it's
so encouraging. I
it's so
mean,
refreshing to see.
I've met some of my best friends on Book Talk, like literally welcome them into my home because I'm crazy. But like, literally one of my best friends, Nikki, she's coming next weekend. Kate just left. I'm doing a Book Talk retreat in a month. Like, I'm meeting these people in real life, and we're just creating those relationships long term. It's great.
No, it is, and it's such a refreshing thing because it's like none of my friends in real life really read, like maybe a
Yeah,
couple books a year,
yeah,
and some of my friends it's more like self-help type stuff or history stuff, and it's like that's great and all, but it's like
that's
it's not
fine.
that
No,
that's more for yourself. Like I don't
yeah.
want to talk about that.
I want to talk about your theories when we're reading this. Yeah,
Yeah, and so I had kind of the reverse path of you where I started in the book talk bro space, and then
yeah,
I got pulled into trying smut. Like actually last this time last year, I made a video like, and I was like, when I get to 1,000 followers, I'll let you guys pick, a smutty book for me.
yeah.
And I was like, but take it easy on me. And the comments were unhinged. Thankfully, a couple of very nice people. Um, Bev, if you're watching, she was one of the first people, and she messaged me, and she's like, "They're not being nice to you. That is not easing into this." And I was like, "Oh, they were telling me to read Haunting Adeline is my first one," and I was like,
Maybe not. Maybe not.
"Yeah."
Let's dip the
I did end
toes
up
in first.
I did end up starting with Ice Planet Barbarians, which was just like it's a lot in a different way, but it's like you can laugh at that one. It's not dark. It's just kind of ridiculous and funny.
Yes, yes, that is monster
And
butt. Yes.
yeah, but
Oh,
there was at least wholesome parts to it.
yeah,
Like
yeah, for sure.
whereas it's like some of this stuff I don't even remember what some people were recommending, and I was like, I don't think that that's for me right now.
So have
I'm
you
not.
read Haunting Adeline?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I've read stuff like I've read Lights Out. I've read.
Cool.
I think the one that was the most for me, where I was like, I think this is too much, was Pucking Around. I read that in I'm in a group message where we read like it's not I guess a book club, but we usually read like one book a month.
Yeah.
And that was the one that was chosen, and I was like, "Oh my."
Wow.
Like there's a lot happening here.
I have not read that one, so I can't really comment, but I've heard some things. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michelle, who recommended it, she loves that series. She her description of it to us was like that the FMC gets triple ding donged, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then it happens, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, she literally meant that."
I mean, I've definitely read some other books where that happens, but yeah, yeah, wow.
That
Wow.
one was like, I think I don't need to continue this series. I was like,
Yeah,
I
you're
think I'm
probably
good.
good. You get the point. You get the point.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
hilarious.
like I've dipped my toes in and out, and then I've read some stuff like I read Beach Read by Emily Henry.
Okay.
I thought that one was that's very cute. It's very wholesome. I do want to give Abby Jimenez a try. People have said that hers are really good.
I have not tried her, but I did read Beach Read. No, I read, oh my God, what is the other? It's a pink cover by Emily Henry. Oh my gosh. Happy something, maybe?
Uh,
Oh my God.
Happy People or
I could look it up while we're talking, but I did not. That's the only Emily Henry I've read, and I was not happy with it. But I
I know
also
that some
uh,
people have said that there's one that's not as good. It might be that one. And then
Happy
when I
Place.
read, yeah, and then when I
Which
read,
one?
yep,
That
when
one.
I
Yeah.
read Beach Read, everyone was like, "That one's it's okay," and
I have
it was
heard that
fine.
one's good, but I after Happy Place, I was like, I'm all right.
It was very cute, but kind of predictable.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it was, I mean, in that sense, it was like it was very easy to consume, and it was like it was compelling enough where you want. I've read it in a couple days because it's like
Yeah.
it's a fun story. You kind of know where it's going. It feels safe. You're not gonna.
Yeah. I use those as like palate cleansers every once in a while. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Like the cowboy romances, like those where you might be able to finish it in a sitting. It's just the same thing, very easy to consume and, it's fluffy, feel good.
Now let's talk about Dungeon Crawler Carl and how hard you fell into this because
Oh my
I
god.
was laughing so hard when you posted the video where you went to get the book signed.
Ugh.
And he was just like, "Wait, are you the one from TikTok?"
So,
Loved it,
and now I have a tattoo of Princess
which
Donut
is
on my
fantastic.
arm.
Just saw that before we jumped on too.
Oh my god, I'm crazy. So Kate, I hope you two follow each other. You need to. Um, she did actually change her name to Dungeon Crawler Kate, by the way.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
definitely follow her.
yeah. So her and one of my coworkers, we had a buddy read going on. We had done maybe 4 or 5 books, and she said, "Hey, I saw these books at Barnes and Noble. They have really cool covers. You know, all the bright colors and stuff." She's the one that actually introduced me to the series, and I just say, like, I read the first couple chapters, and I was like, "Holy crap! What is this?" They're it's filled with drugs because
Yeah.
I don't know. It just took over my entire life, clearly. And I said, you know what? It's kind of so I test myself a lot for social media. And I was like, what if I do nothing but post about this one series for X amount of time? I want to see, because I'm very much into like analytics and like the social media aspect of things. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
me too. I watch them too much.
yeah, it's addicting. So I was like, what if I don't try to keep my videos like varied, like different formats and talking about too many different books? What if I focus just on this and we'll see how it goes? And I wish I had the stats for you offhand, but like I
Yeah.
mean, it went crazy. My engagement, like I said, in the Book Talk Bro space, it's so much more welcoming and people are very, very engaging. But long story long, ended up trying to finish all 7 books before I went to the book signing. But I was tagging him. I was tagging Matt in every single video I posted every single day. So I was like, at some point, he's got to see this, right?
He's got to
Like,
see it. Yeah.
he hadn't liked one, commented nothing. Like, it was crickets. And then I get up there, I'm sweating because I'm like, I don't know what to say to this man. I'm going to come off like a rambling idiot. Like I said, in person, I suck. And when he said that, I, all the life left my body. I didn't even know how to react, to be honest. I jumped back. Like, I was like, what? Holy
I'm
crap,
so
this is
glad that
amazing.
someone got that on camera though. That
Yeah. My friend Sarah
such a
came with me and filmed it.
such a postable moment.
Oh my god. I'm like getting like hot just thinking about it. That was a surreal moment for sure.
Now, I've only read book 1, and I think I might have to change this because I got book 2 for my birthday. I got a bunch of books sent to me, and I was, like, a little overwhelmed, so I was like, "I'm gonna bring my TBR jar back, and it's gonna be all my birthday books," and that way I prioritize them because, like,
Yeah.
I want everyone to know how grateful I am because they didn't have to do that, and then
No.
now I'm like, "But it's gonna be the last one I pull," so it's like, I might
Right.
just sneak that one out because I wanna get to book 2, like, I already have the audio ready to go. It's just,
Oh,
like,
good.
sitting there teasing me
Yeah.
every time I'm on Audible, and I'm like, I think I might just have to pull the trigger because everybody's talking about them, and I want to know what else happens because it's. I read my first lit RPG was Cradle. I read that last
Okay.
year, I think. I'm notorious for only reading book ones. It's kind of a joke
Oh no.
amongst me and my friends.
Oh no.
I I get like shiny object syndrome where I'm like, oh,
Okay.
look over there. I'm like, oh, piece of candy. Like
See, I do
I just
too, but
I
for
want to
some
read
reason,
everything,
yeah.
and so I'm like, I read book ones.
I will say with this, with Dungeon Crawler Carl, I would say like the first 2 books are very fun. They're quirky. Like I laugh out loud funny. I would say, but you do actually get to like a deeper level with Carl later on and
Yeah,
Princess Donut, and like you find out more about their past. And I cried several times during this series, so it does get to that point. Just as an FYI.
yeah, I've heard that, and it's also one of those things where it's like I remember seeing people talk about this because I did book 1 of Cradle, and then I was like, oh, lit RPG is pretty cool, and I just forgot about it for like a year,
Yeah.
and then I saw everyone talking about this, and I think where it really took off on Book Talk is people started talking about how amazing the audio version is,
Hmm.
and for anyone who's watching, when you do read these books, I would immersive read them. Like you need the audio; it's so good.
100%. Jeff Hayes is phenomenal. Like,
And I
hands
saw so many people being like, "Oh, I love that they used a full cast," and it's like, no, they didn't.
so
He's just that he's that good.
I do think on not a full cast, but I think on Sound Booth Theater, there's they do sprinkle in some more people. But
Yeah,
I have not listened to those versions at all.
but he's fantastic, and it really I think it sells some of the silliness because
Mhm.
I could see how on just the page it might be off-putting to some people because some of
Yeah.
it seems like pretty heartless and harsh initially, but it's like it's lighthearted, even though it's like really
Depends on
dark
your
what's
sense of
going
humor,
on.
I guess. You definitely
Yeah,
have to
that's
have a
true
sense of
too,
humor. Yeah.
but he
Ugh,
he really sells
yeah,
so
agreed.
many of the bits.
I actually didn't start listening until book 3. I
Really?
was just reading on Kindle, for book 1 and 2, and I was still posting about it. So everybody in the comments was like, "You have to listen. You have to listen. You have to listen. Jeff Hayes is amazing." I didn't even have Audible. Like Dungeon Crawler Carl is the reason why I have Audible. It was to get those books. And oh my god, I started with 3, went all the way through with immersive reading, like you said, the best way to do it. And I actually went back and got 1 and 2. So mm, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's why I got Audible as well, and I'm currently on like the where you get 3 months for $1 a month, and
Okay,
that's over soon. So I'm gonna end up keeping it. Let's be real.
I should check
Um,
mine. Oh my gosh, see.
I did see a trick the other day for everybody who may be interested in. You can if you just go to the books on Audible, they show up as full price.
Mhm.
But if you click on them through the Kindle app, they're heavily discounted. Like I got book two, I think, for $3.99
Yep.
because I didn't have a credit available and I wanted it
Yeah, of course.
just in case it was the first one out of my TBR jar. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, sneak it in, like you said.
yeah, but so there's a little money saving hack for you
Mhm.
guys
Yep.
because they're pricey. I mean, they're worth it, but like,
Yeah. No, I think one of them was like $30 before, and then it went down all the way to like 7, and I was like,
yeah,
"Yeah,
super worth it. I can't remember who I saw that shared that tip on TikTok, but I was like, thank you
yeah,
very much doing that right
yeah,
now.
save money."
Now, how was he when you met him in person?
Oh, I mean, I was so nervous. I mean, he was great. I don't know. I don't know what to say. He definitely, joked along with us, which was great. I mean, for standing in line or like, signing books all day, I can imagine that's kind of like tedious, and
Yeah,
having to like do that little like you gotta like chat with everybody, and it's like you only get what a minute or two with each person. He didn't
right.
do pictures with like you weren't like standing next to him and getting a photo. It was the person from the bookstore was like taking candid photos of you with him. But luckily I had my friend with me to videotape as well. So I mean it was a very
Yeah, little
short little conversation, but I think when my friend Sarah went up after me, we talked about how, or she told him that I got her to read the books. And basically, I think I said something about being a cult leader because I kind of feel like one when it comes to these books. So he laughed at it. I don't know if he was creeped out or not, but he played it off like it was funny. So
I'm sure he appreciates that kind of stuff. I mean, if he wrote these books, he has a sense of humor.
that's
He
kind of
has
what I
to.
figured. Yeah. Yeah.
He has to.
Yeah. But
Now,
it,
I stopped watching one of your videos right before we got on because I was going to bring it up now.
okay.
I hadn't seen anything about it, so tell me and everyone else what you said in the video where it's allegedly going to be a TV show,
Yes.
possibly.
So I'll rewind a little bit. Before the book signing, he did like a Q&A session where he told us it was going to be live action. Like what the production was cuz it was talking about Seth MacFarlane owning the rights to it. But yeah, I just saw on Facebook that it's Universal International Studios and Seth MacFarlane, but it's going to be a TV show. And then there's a webtoon episode that is airing. I think episode 1 airs July 17th, but I think that's just on the app. So two separate things. So for those that wanted animation, you're getting it. It's just not, to that level of Seth MacFarlane.
I'm curious to see how they're going to do it live action. Hopefully, they do it justice. I
Yeah.
do think it's better that they're going the TV show route
Yeah.
because, well, in general, I don't watch a ton of movies.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion to some, but like I was thinking about it the other day. Like, there's like all these movies from the last 15 years. I'm like, nope, haven't seen it. Haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Definitely haven't seen it. But
Yeah.
I'll watch shows.
I
I'm
think
weird like
you're
that.
right.
Like, I can't commit to a 2 hour movie, but I will watch 5 episodes of a show in a row.
I get it.
It's
I
not
get it.
logical. It's not logical, but it's what I do. But also with 7 books, I
Yeah,
feel like
and
it's kind of
so
got to be a
8
show.
hopefully 8 comes out next year.
Yeah.
I'm a part of his Patreon, so I have the first I think I've only read the first chapter, but he's got a couple of the chapters from book 8 already done. I think there's supposed to be 10. Who knows?
Yeah,
Could be
that's
more,
that's
but
gotta be a show
oh,
because
it's a
if
lot of
they
growth.
tried to do multiple books in one movie, which is what they would have to do, it would be
Yeah,
too much.
it wouldn't work. No, they'd cut out a lot, but yeah, I'm
Now
excited
I have
no matter what.
now I have to start thinking about who I think should be cast. I had because this is new news to me. I haven't even had time to do that yet.
Oh my god, I think I did a video asking about fan casting because I was describing the book to my dad, and he immediately said Chris Pratt because of Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic Park and stuff. Um, but people were not a fan of that pick, and I was like, I did not choose that. I was describing it to someone that has not read the book, so take that with a grain of salt. But there were a lot of opinions, and a lot of people were picking actors that were a lot older than what Carl is in the
Well,
book.
I was just gonna
27.
say, like, maybe Chris Pratt, like, 8 years ago.
Yeah, it would. Yes, way
It's
back in the day, maybe. Yeah.
yeah, like, Parks and Rec him.
Yes. Yes. Oh gosh.
But, yeah, I don't even know. It'll be interesting, but that's definitely fun. And then there's rumors about Red Rising as well.
Hmm. I don't know about that.
I don't know anything specific, but that a studio at least has picked up the rights to
Okay.
it. That is
That'd be
one
cool.
actually where I think I would prefer to see it animated.
I don't know. Oh, I don't
I just
know.
I don't know how I mean, without CGI can get weird, and how do you make the golds look the
That's
way that they look?
that's true. Now, when you
Because I
say
mean, it's just
animated,
like
do you mean like are we talking like Family Guy or are you talking like oh my gosh, what is the
what
Arcane?
I
Like
yeah, Arcane is what I was just about.
okay,
That's what I would love to see it that style.
we're on
I
the
think it
same
would
page then. Okay,
I
great.
think it would fit like that
Okay.
because some of the
Yes.
technology and then just like how ridiculous the golds are compared to like a normal human being. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they're barely human at this point. Like they're so much bigger. They look so much. I mean, they look perfect.
Okay, so I
And
get it. Yes, yes. That would work for sure.
I feel like CGI nowadays is like it's very good, but also it gets overused where I think it ends
Yeah.
up looking cheesy sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. You still got to have like a high production quality for sure.
Yeah.
The big budget on that as well. But no, I agree. I think that would be pretty cool.
Now, are you planning to dive into the rest of the Red
Ooh,
Rising books?
yes. Yeah. Oh, here's my conundrum, right? I've been listening to them on Hoopla, and my library is discontinuing Hoopla at the end of this month, and I'm
Oh
out of
no, that's
credits.
terrible.
I know. I'm devastated. So,
Do you have Libby?
I do. So I placed a hold on Iron Gold. Yes, that's the next one. I have them mixed up on my shelf, so don't look at that. But yeah, so I have the hold place, but I think there's like 10 people ahead of me. So I'll be waiting a little bit. I think I'm gonna try to finish the Devils first, and then I have a couple others that I started that I just need to get back to.
Yeah, I took a long break after the initial trilogy because I was waiting for I'm terrible with titles. The newest one to come out. What is it? Lightbringer?
Is it Dark Age? Or is that am I messing that up? Hold on.
No, I think it's book 6 is Lightbringer that came out.
Okay, then I'm an
Was it
idiot and have them way messed up.
it might have been last I don't even remember when it came out. But either way, I was waiting for it cuz originally I think book 6 was going to be it, but now it's going to be 7 books.
Oh, yeah, they're waiting
And,
on Red God. Yeah.
yeah. And so I was kind of waiting, but then I got back into it and when I read book 4, it was like it took me a little bit to get into it cuz it's definitely very different cuz it's multi POV
Okay,
instead of just one.
that's what I've heard.
By the end I did like it, but it's like not that this book is light and fluffy, but it's like man, it gets dark.
I
It's like
okay. You were
it
right.
was like
Lightbringer is the last one. Yeah, Iron Gold,
yeah.
Dark Age, and Lightbringer. Yep.
So it was like, and I took a little break after this one again because that's just what I do. But also, I was like, man, that was kind like it was good, but it was kind of a bummer.
Have
Where it
you
was like,
finished the others?
nope, I need to still read 5 and 6, but um, yeah, I don't know. I needed a little break. It got heavy. I was like, this is
I've heard so
like
many
not that his life
people.
was easy, but like this was kind of depressing.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, I wish I stopped at the first three. I wish I stopped at Morningstar, and I'm like, "Ooh, what is what do I have in store for me?"
I can see why some people would say that because it's definitely it's a big tone shift, and then also going from what a couple thousand pages of just being in his head
Yeah.
to now you have to like figure out new characters, but it does actually expand the world and you get to see the
Okay.
story in a different way.
Okay.
But I definitely think it's worth reading.
Yeah,
You're,
I'm gonna wait till my hold comes up, and then I'll get
yeah,
started.
yeah.
But
The Libby holds can be tough. Like I'm currently reading Lonesome Dove, and
I know what that is.
it's not
What
on
is it?
Audible, huh?
What is that? I don't know what that is.
It's a Western.
Oh,
It's from the late '90s. It's highly regarded as, like, one of the best character work books, and, I'm only a couple hundred pages into it, like, I'm just now really getting into it. It's, like, 960 pages.
oh my god. Okay.
But I didn't think that this would be in such hot demand, and it's, like, it's on Audible, but only book 1 is only in Spanish, and then they have book 2 and 3 in English, and I'm
Of
like, "That doesn't
course.
help."
Of course.
And I've never had this happen on Libby before where the wait time just says several months. It normally gives me an exact week, but it just says several month wait, and I'm like, "Oh, that's not reassuring."
Why yeah, oh gosh, okay. Well,
So I have like I don't know, like I know a lot of people love this book, but like I didn't anticipate a book from like 1998 would be
no.
a 3-month wait on. So I'm having to read with I do a bunch of immersive reading, so I'm having to read with just my eyeballs, and I'm like, I
Oh
am
gosh, screw
not killing this.
that.
Atten-
I'm kidding.
Attention span officially shot. Like I'm like
Yeah.
read 10 pages and I'm like, wonder what's
Let
on
me scroll
TikTok.
on my phone real quick.
Then I made a video the other day calling it out, and it's like, this is your cue to go read your book. And I was like, as I'm not reading my book.
Correct, correct. Oh my god, I saw a girl, speaking of experimenting with, like, the algorithm and all that stuff, this girl was like, "I'm gonna post a video every time I log into the app." Well, like,
I
if
saw
I
that
did
too.
that, I would be posting, like, 30 30 videos a day.
I hate to admit how many videos I would have to post
Yeah.
a day.
Crazy.
That's brave. And she was like, I posted 5 videos yesterday because that's how many times I opened the app. And I'm like, yeah, by breakfast. Like,
Yeah, I was like, "That's that no." I am actually doing 5 a day as an experiment. Um, but no, 5 I've opened it 5 times, yeah, by breakfast. I'm not even at work yet. Shoot.
I daily posted at least one a day for a lot of last year, and then I fell
Mhm.
off. I've been slacking since the TikTok ban, our like
Yes,
10-hour
yes.
detention that we
Yeah.
got. So I haven't been doing a great job since then, but I've gotten back to daily posting like I think the last 10 days.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, I posted twice today, and I'm like, I think I might try twice a day as well.
Try it. You never
And
know.
I love digging into the analytics of stuff too. I check all of that and
Yeah,
like look at the watch time and figure out what's trending. And I've always done that on YouTube, even when I wasn't posting. I was like always just very curious what's working for people. But
yeah,
TikTok is like it used to be so predictable. Like I used to be able to know that like if I had 40 likes and it didn't have many views yet, it was gonna get 400 views. Like
yeah.
it was always roughly 10% like of
Mhm.
your views to likes. And it's like now it's like I've had ones where it gets a ton of likes and then it's just like, yeah, you get 200 views. That's
Yeah.
it.
It is so unpredictable. I have no idea. I thought I figured out the times that do well. So for me, 8 AM and 8 PM are prime. Over here, East Coast for anybody. That's when I see the best results. But then again, I could post at lunchtime and get thousands of views. So who freaking knows? That's why I'm like, okay, if I post more frequently, it's got to be like the lottery, right? The more you post, the better, I don't know, the possibility of
I,
one going viral, you know?
yeah, exactly. I posted one super late night the other night because I was up scrolling as one does
Hmm.
instead of sleeping.
Yes.
And it was like, oh, you have to post late night, post between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. And
No.
I was like, it's 1:45 a.m. Let's go for it.
Did it do
I
well?
hadn't, no, it did average,
Okay, because
but it,
I think me and you must have been on the same wavelength. I did it like, I don't know, 2, 3 nights ago, same exact thing, and it did horribly. Like, do not
I,
listen to TikTok.
I just did an on this day. It was like, it was right there. And I was like,
Okay,
this is zero effort. I don't even have to make the video. But
perfect.
then I got super self conscious for a little while too, because all of my on this days that I was posting a few weeks ago
Yeah.
were crushing and my normal videos weren't. And I'm like, I'm like, "What did I do in the last year? The algorithm doesn't like me anymore." It's
Oh,
like,
no. Do you have any drafts?
no,
What?
no, I am very much like I posted at like 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I got up, I recorded it. It's a 10-second video. I did it in one take. I trimmed the beginning and the end and just hit post.
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. Oh my god, I can't. Oh lord.
A lot of it is laziness though, where it's like I'll redo a video once and I'm like, that's good enough. I'm like, I
Ugh.
don't have it in me to do it 5 times.
See, the lip syncs are what gets me. I will do it 20 times until it is like so close.
I don't do the lip syncs often, but
Oh,
I've decided I don't like them because I will be spot on,
yeah.
and then like, when I watch it back, it's fine, and then when I post it, it's off, and I'm like, "Why'd you have to do me like that? Now I look
See,
dumb." Like,
that only happens to me if I repost it on Instagram.
oh, it destroys it. It's like a
Yes.
full second off.
Uh-huh. And I'm
It
like,
looks like
I'm
a
not trying to look stupid
bad
here.
anime dub. Yeah.
Fix
I
this.
did that one time.
Yeah,
I did
no.
it one time, and I learned my lesson. I was like, "Nope, not doing that
Yeah.
anymore."
No.
It's like I
No.
had one of my on this days, like, I think it got like 30,000 views,
All
and I
right.
was like, all my other videos were like 300 views, and I'm like, "What did I do? Like, why do y'all hate me?"
Now
And I know it's just the algorithm, but it's
it
like
is.
when you overanalyze it like that, you're looking for anything,
Yeah, you're trying to look for trends, right? So it's like,
and
oh,
I'm like
something I did a year ago works. Cool. I'll just keep
I'm
doing
like,
that.
"Am I making my videos too long? Like, are my reviews not good?" Because I'm always self-conscious about my reviews because there's some people on my like that I'm mutuals with,
Yeah.
and I think that their book reviews are like freaking amazing, and I'm like, mine are nothing like
I
that.
don't do reviews anymore because they never did well.
Mine are just purely vibes. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
Yeah. I just push
that's
shit
what
I like. Clearly.
that's
I don't
it's
have
like
to tell
vibes
you
is what
about
I've
it.
got is like I'm
Mm,
always super paranoid about spoilers, so it's like I
yeah.
don't know what to say because like I never want to be the guy that ruins something in a book for
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm super like if it's not on the back of the book, I don't really want to talk about it. So it's
Oh,
like I just go off vibes. I'll tell you that I liked it and I'll kind of tell
yeah.
you why, but it's like I'm not giving you any plot points because
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
Well, it's been I will say, like, I also don't wanna be that guy, but I will like, with Red Rising, I've posted some, like, midpoint, like, check-ins almost, like, where I was crying about something but, like, I put, like, major spoilers, like, scroll away now, like, if you know
Oh yeah, I like those and then I scroll away.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I've seen those.
Oh my gosh. Well, Kate just got to like 50% of the way through Morningstar. And so I told her, I was like, do not look at my videos from the past like 24
Yeah.
hours. Okay. Once you get to this point, I will tag you in it and you can go back and watch it. And yeah, so it's just, oh my God. Cause we all try to support each other. And like, there's a group of us where we'll send each other our videos to like try to
Yeah.
boost it, a little bit. And I'm like, hey, just to let you know, I don't want to ruin this
Yeah.
for you.
Turn it down and look away,
Yeah, yeah. Or
but
just
watch
like
till
it
the end.
real fast, put the volume on real low and just, like it and scroll.
But I had a friend when I was younger, and he thought it was hilarious to spoil things, and I was like, "Dude, you're such a dick."
Nope.
Because like, I remember when, I didn't read Harry Potter, I kinda missed the train on that, I was,
Okay.
like, just slightly too old for it,
Okay.
and well, not for the books, but for the movies, and I didn't read, so I missed the
Oh,
books
okay.
completely. But, like, one of my friends got a T-shirt that says, like, "Dumbledore dies on page whatever, whatever. There, I
Oh,
just saved you, like, 7 hours." And I was like, "Bro." Like,
that's
he
so
started
messed up.
wearing that, like, as quickly as he could, and I was like, "Dude." I was like, "You can't do that."
No, that's not nice. That's not nice. Oh my God.
It's like, I wasn't even into it, like, but I was like, that's low, man."
Mm, mm.
I was like, "Imagine some, like, 12-year-old sees you." That.
It's like ruining Santa. Like,
Yeah.
oh God. No,
No, for
that's
real. I
rude.
was like so it's like I think that exact interaction is why I'm, like, hyper paranoid about it because it's like, I was so I don't wanna say disappointed in him because he was just being a troll, but,
Yeah.
like, it made me so aware of spoilers where I was like, "Yep, that's never gonna be me."
You don't want to be that guy. Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't be me.
Oh man. It's hard to avoid some of them though, because it'll be like the carousels of like the vibes of the book or whatever. And
Yeah.
like some of them they're unintentional, but I remember it was either Akatar, it was one of the Sarah J Maas series, And I remember like first I hadn't read, maybe it was Throne of Glass. I'll go with that. No, it was ACOTAR because I was like reading the first book. Have you read Sarah J. Maas yet?
No, I've heard enough about it where I don't think it's for me.
That's fine. That's fine. Throne of Glass is my jam personally. It's more
I've
on the
heard that that
fantasy
one's
side.
better, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just it's like I'm there's so many series I need to finish that I'm just like
Yes.
I don't, especially with like the dual read. Like
Oh, the
I know you don't have to
fandom.
do that, but yeah, like and it's just like that's too much for me. And
I
it's
did
like
not do that because I messed up. Um, I thought it was the last two books, and it's really like the second to last two books. And I was on vacation, and I already went through Empire of Storms. I got home and I was like, "Oh my god, now I have to suffer through Tower of Dawn all by itself before I get," because Empire of Storms ends on a major cliffhanger. So it's like if you had read them at the same time,
right.
you would have been able to go right from one to the other. But anyway, long story long is I ruined a lot of things for ACOTAR by being on Book Talk, and I'm not going to get into it because yeah,
Yeah, well,
I
I
don't
mean,
want to
there was a
spoil
period of
anything.
time
But
where like every other post was about ACOTAR too.
yeah,
So it was like I feel like a lot of people were probably trying to stand out in some way too by talking about a different angle that hadn't been talked about, and
hmm,
that leads to spoilers.
yep. Oh man,
So
jeez.
what series in the brosphere have you seen that you haven't gotten into yet that you're curious about?
I am really curious about more of Joe Abercrombie's. There's a trilogy. Let me look it up.
The
Um,
Blade itself?
yes, yes, that's the one that I
I've
would like to get into. But also, I mean,
I've re-
everybody obviously Brandon Sanderson, but I'm like,
yeah.
I've actually already read a couple of his books, so I feel like I've gotten a taste. I'm I I'm enjoying the Devils, so I might as well stick with Joe for a little
Yeah,
bit.
shocker. I read book 1.
Okay, how was it?
It's fantastic.
Okay, great.
Haven't gone back because I'm me.
Oh my
It's
god.
a problem. It's a problem I'm working on.
Oh my gosh. Well,
But have you read any John Gwynn?
no. Oh, that's on my list too. But I'm not gonna lie, those books intimidate me. Just
The
looking
fa-
at them.
the Faithful and the Fallen, I would say, is less popular. I think it's more that was his first books, and I think people are a little bit more mixed on that. I really loved it. It's kind of a slower burn, but this dude can write battle scenes like nobody else I've ever read. Like he's phenomenal. And then I've heard, oh, I forget the name of the current series. The Shadow of Gods is book 1. I've heard that's even better, and I'm like, dang, like
I think that's the
if he
one that
tops
yeah.
this, yeah, people love that. That's a really good one.
I think
There's
that's
there's
the
so
one
many that I need to finish. Do you read any sci-fi, or is it only fantasy?
I
Well, I
mean,
mean, I guess
I would say let
Thundercrawl
me just
crawls
yeah, let's
kind
go with
of.
more fantasy probably.
Red
Um,
Rising is a mix. I think that's like sci fantasy to me.
okay. Oh, yes, it's the Shadow of the Gods. I had to look it up because I was like, I know the covers. Like that's
Yeah.
yes, that
Yep.
that yep. Mhm. That is definitely on my list. No, I like I said, I think I've transitioned genres. This year my goal was to get outside of the romance realm, and I think I've done that pretty well. So I'm dabbling. I'm dabbling. I've started so many. I'm trying to like look around and
Yeah.
see.
Last year I read literally everything, including Monster Smut.
Yeah.
Oh God, I read The Dragon's Bride too. That one was too much for me.
That's is that Katie Robert?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that one, but
But this year I've gotten back to my roots a little bit more. I've read a ton of sci-fi,
okay.
and a little bit of fantasy, but um, there's so many. I keep wanting to start new things, and then I look at my
Yeah.
bookshelf, and I'm like, you have the complete series right there because you bought them all. You got to
Uh-huh.
finish it at some point.
Uh-huh. You can't just buy the
I
first
was
one. You have to have, some trophies.
I made a post this morning where it's just a series of pictures, and it's like if you read books like this, we should be friends.
Mhm.
And so I have a fantasy page, a sci-fi page, like a lit fic page, and a
Yeah.
nonfiction page. And I'm looking at some of these, and I'm like, damn, there's a lot of really good books on here where I'm in the middle of the series that I should probably finish. Like The
Oof.
Expanse comes to mind. I'm like, I really need to finish that series.
See, that's why I also read horror, like stream horror, splatterpunk stuff. And those are usually very short, standalone. kind of things. And that's why I like those, because I'm like, oh, I'm done. That story's over. Move on to the next. And I'm not like reading these like 700-800 page books. Um,
Yeah, horror's fun as well. That's a newer genre for me, like the
okay.
last couple years. I read like a little bit of Stephen King when I
Okay.
was younger. Um, I started with him with a book that everybody hates, Dreamcatcher.
Okay. Okay.
And I was like, that was pretty good. Like years later, I found out that it's pretty hated amongst Stephen King fans.
Ooh,
But
okay.
I read some of him, and then last year I got into like I read The Troop, and
Oh yeah, Nick Cutter.
yeah, that one was good.
Yep.
I didn't like some of the parts. Um,
The like parasitic
that
buggy kind of things I thought would
yeah,
bother me, but it
the hand part, I didn't love that.
I'm I always say this. I like reading the most unhinged things because I need to feel something. I'm like, I
Yeah, well,
want it's so messed up.
I I've accidentally created this tradition on my birthday. I go buy myself a book,
Mhm.
and last year I bought it was from like a local indie store that has since closed. I went back on my birthday this year and it was
Oh,
gone. It's like in
no.
the village neighboring my city, and uh, I was talking to it was like two very nice girls that worked there, and they were like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting this for my birthday for myself, and they were like, it was a Little Life, and they were like, do you know what this is about? And I was like, yeah. They're
Oh,
like, have
they're
you read
letting
the
you buy it?
trigger warnings? And I was like, yeah. They're like, are you sure you want to do this as this is your birthday? And I was like, yeah, this is great. And I ended up loving that book. It's
Did
super
you?
heavy. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to most people.
Oh,
Um, that book is a lot, but
I
then it's like I did
sorry, go ahead.
this year. I bought Martyr, which I heard is pretty heavy,
Okay,
and
yep,
I also got Piranesi. I ordered that from them on my birthday because they didn't have it, and it's like that one's not crushing, but it is also kind of a lot. And
that's
it's
on my
like, so
list.
this is just what I do. Like on my birthday, I'm just gonna buy books that might make me cry. That's
Oh.
apparently the goal.
I had a little life on my shelf, and my friend Lila said she did not recommend it. We'll just put it very lightly. She was not a big fan, so I actually ended up gifting it. Or yeah, so I was like, I'm not even gonna try. I like dark, but I don't know. It seems a little bit more solemn. I don't know what the word is.
It's I've seen people describe it as trauma corn,
Okay,
and I get where you're coming from with that because it is like there's so much bad stuff that happens to all of the characters, but specifically one. And like his life is super tragic. But the thing that I really enjoyed about that book was I don't think a lot of books explore friendship in the way that this one did,
okay,
and like it spans like 45 years of this group of four guys' friendship, like starting in college age all the way until they're like well into adulthood, like older gentlemen, like past their middle age,
yeah,
and it's all the ups and downs of life. It also takes place in New York City, and I live in New York City, so I'm like a sucker for anything New York City
yeah.
because I'm not from here, so I just love it. But it it's heavy, but
Okay,
I think that there's something really beautiful about the way the friendship is described,
okay. That's
especially
fair.
like I've never read a book like this at least that goes into like male friendship in this way. Um, but it's one of those books where it's like I don't know if I'll ever reread it,
Right.
and I literally like I would have to know the person really well to recommend it and know that they could handle it because there's parts that are really really rough.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Like some of the worst stuff I've read. Like
Oh.
it's bad.
Oh gosh.
It's
Okay.
it's bad. But then it's like then at the same time it's like I can read stuff like oh, why can't I think of the name of the book now? I have it on my shelf right over there. The horror book where people are used as cattle.
Oh, tender is the flesh?
There we go. Oh my god. Huge brain fart there. Loved that book. And it was like the body horror in that one didn't bother me for some reason. It was just like,
The premise of that book, I was obsessed with because again, I love, the unhinged things. I got 50 pages into that book and I was like, I'm good. Like I was not intrigued. I don't like in a bored way. Like I was like, I like
oh,
the idea of it. It's just I don't know if it was the style of right. I don't know. But then I read Cows. Have you ever read that?
oh, I've heard. I've heard. I'm gonna read it someday just because everybody says not to.
You read it and you hit me up and tell me what you think because holy
Tender as the Flesh is one of those books where I think, like, again, I can get why people stop reading that one, but the ending is kind of the payoff too because it's like
Okay.
I'm not again, no spoilers, but it's just
Yeah.
like the only thing I will say is that most people are mad at the ending
Oh,
for good reason, but
okay.
like you're supposed to be.
I would be willing to give it another shot. It's not like it's a very big book, but I don't know if maybe I was just in the
No.
wrong headspace where I just her style of writing wasn't hitting.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I met
I
the main character and he went to one of the production, the plants,
yeah,
I
one of
guess,
the
the
facilities.
facilities. And like I said, I liked, I was intrigued by the premise. Um, Yeah, I hate doing that. I can't rate some of these books. I refuse to give them any stars because I'm like, on one hand, I probably need to be locked up for enjoying these books.
Right. Right.
Like, yeah. Ugh. Like
No,
Cows, I did
I've
not give a rating, but I read it in one sitting. I couldn't put it down.
I can't remember the name of the horror book. I read it and it was 100% written during COVID.
Mm,
It's like a two maybe 150-page book, and the book is about it like a pandemic, but it's obviously like not quite zombies, but kind of zombies, and it's in New York City, and they're just trying to get to a hospital,
yeah.
and it's like it's so gross at points, and it's just like it's hard to say I like this because it's messed up, but
Yeah.
it's like, but I did. Like it
Well,
was.
send me that title so I can read that one.
I'll look it up, and it's like enjoyed this. This was a fun read, but it's like the worst shit happening
Yeah.
possible.
It's like I don't
Like,
want people to know that I liked this.
yeah, yeah, it's tough. I try not. I don't even know. Like, I've seen some people make videos where they explain their rating system, and I'm like, I don't know that I understand my own rating system. It's like
I don't.
I can tell in my gut when it's a 5 star, and I just go with it.
Yep.
Sometimes I sleep on it, and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. And if I wake up and it's still a 5 star, it's a 5 star.
I've gone back and changed my stars after
Yeah, I
thinking
have
about
too.
it. Yeah. So
Usually up.
Oh!
I don't
Oh.
often go down. I've gone from 4 to 5, it's like I sat on it for, like, a week, and I'm like the fact that I'm already through another book and still thinking about that one is like, yeah, it
Oh,
was probably a 5 star.
I get that. I'm usually going backwards. I'm like, "Wait, that really wasn't that good. What was I thinking?"
I oftentimes wonder, like, too, where I'm like, am I too easily entertained? Because I see people I rarely DNF. I forced myself to
Same.
DNF a book recently, it just wasn't doing it for me. It
Which one?
was, um it was called Ringworld. It's an old sci-fi book, and it's considered like a classic, and it was just like got like halfway through, and it's definitely written by a dude in the late 70s, and it's just like he just made all women like really stupid, and they're just kind of there to be there,
Oh.
and it's like I was like, this is just not interesting. Like the premise was good, but like the characters were pretty terrible,
Oh gosh.
and that's the first time I've ever DNF'd a book in my life.
Wow. Okay.
But then it's like I I rated like 2 books last year below 3 stars. Is like I don't know if maybe Book Talk has just helped me pick books so well, because
Yeah,
it's like
maybe.
I know I have like I follow people where I align mostly with what they say,
Yeah.
and I'm like, if they recommend it, I'm probably gonna like it. Like, there's a strong chance it's gonna
Yeah.
be at least pretty good.
You find
Because
it
'Cause I'm like, I
easy.
see some people giving like 2 stars, and I'm like, I don't know. I was like, 2 star, I feel like I would struggle to finish. Like,
That's how I was feeling a lot in the like romantasy genre when I was really heavy into that is like I felt like I was reading the same storyline over and over again. I'm like, how I can't give these 5 stars because it's like, oh, this sounds just like X. You know what I mean? Like, uh, I I was definitely a little too generous back in the day, but then when it started to get too repetitive, I was like, all right, I need to switch it up. I need to start reading other stuff. That's when my light bulb went off, at least. But
yeah, I looked back to 2023 on Goodreads the other day, and I was looking at how many 5 stars I gave out, and I was like, "Geez," like, left and right handing them out, but then at the same time, it was like that was, like, early into my, like, watching Book Talk days,
okay,
and it was just like it's like that's when I first read, like, Brandon Sanderson, that's when I first read so many series, it's like that's when I started The Expanse, that's when I started Red Rising, that's when I
yeah,
started, like, all of these just it was just, like, banger after banger series, and
yeah.
it's like okay, like makes sense. But at first I was like, I give like 45 stars here.
Oh my god. How
Looking back, maybe some of them could be adjusted down a little bit, but also it was like it was all great series.
how many books do you read on average, like, per year, or month, or
Usually about 100 a year.
okay, about the same for me, I would say.
Yeah, it's like 90 to 100. Like I was somewhere around like 92 last year, and then I was like, you know what? There's 10 days left. I can read a novella a day, and I just like knocked them out and then I got to like 102. But
It feels good to hit that goal. I hate it, but yeah,
I
I'm
set my
right
goal to
now.
I set my goal to 52 because like a book a week is super reasonable, and it's like if I do more, it's great. It
No,
takes a
that is
little
good.
pressure off.
Yeah, that's true. I probably need to dial mine back a little bit. I was in a big slump after that, so, um,
Yeah, I mean that happens.
I'm behind. I mean, Red Rising is the only thing that got me out of it. I tried, like, starting 8 different books. Nothing was hitting, and I don't wanna DNF. Like, I will go back to them, because
Yeah,
everybody's asking me about, He Who Fights with Monsters, and I'm like, I got through the first couple pages, but it just I don't know if it was I don't know, Carl
I've read that
Jurati.
one recently. It was a lot longer than I anticipated because
Yeah,
it was on Kindle. I didn't look at when you don't have the physical book. Sometimes it's like I didn't look at the page count. Like
yeah.
I think it's 700 and something pages.
Is she big? She's right there.
And I have to say with that one, the first maybe like 15 or 20%,
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not sure about this. And
yeah.
then it got a lot better. And from
Okay,
what I've heard, the following books get even better.
yeah.
Because
Well,
I feel like it was just like the world building wasn't necessarily hard, but it was like a lot of stuff was getting explained. Like you're being told
okay.
what things were instead of like just picking up on it naturally. So I was like, okay, I've like feel like I'm reading a manual here. Like it's
Oh,
telling
no.
me everything. But it's like once you got past that in the initial bit, I really liked
Yeah,
it. I do want to continue that one as well. But
yeah.
Mister
Again.
One Book in a Series over
Yep.
here.
I feel that. I feel that.
Was like somebody once asked me, he's like, "Oh, do you have commitment issues?" And I was like, "It's actually the opposite. It's like I don't ever want a series to end because I get so comfortable
Oh,
in them
yeah.
that it's like I don't like endings
That's actually kinda sweet.
because it's
Oh,
like I'll take a year break, but like I can jump back into the world of Red Rising, and it's like I'm terrible with character names, but I remember the world, and I'll pick up
right,
on the character names as I go.
right, right.
And
Yeah,
so it's like that's why I love huge series where I can jump back into the world. Like, oh, wrong hand. This one, Realm of the Elderlings with Robin Hobb. It's like
yeah.
I don't know, 16 or 18 books. I'm like, I can read 3 of those a year because they're long and chunky and heavy. And like, I love that. I can just keep dipping my toes back into it.
That's the one. So I obviously heard about it. I have not purchased. I don't own any of them. So I would say, what would you equate that series to? Like if you had to say it's similar to something.
It's tough. I got into that years ago because when I finished Game of Thrones, I Googled like what to read after Game of Thrones, and that's what
Okay.
came up. And I
Okay.
can kind of see it is, it's fantasy, it's medieval, it's political, but it's not really like Game of Thrones. But
Okay.
it's a pretty expansive world. It's super, super character driven. There
Okay.
are a lot of people who are like, I've read the whole book and nothing happened. And I'm like, everything happened, but like it's
Ooh, okay.
very like it's very zoomed in. So the main character, like you start following him as a 5-year-old orphan. And in
Okay.
book one, you follow him up to like his teenage years. So like you're with him for like 10 years and a lot's happening in his world, but it's like the bigger picture of the universe he lives in, it's a little bit slow with that plot. But like for him, like from week to week, a lot's happening. Like his whole life is changing drastically all the time. But
Okay.
it's very much about the character.
That's interesting.
And
I somebody asked me about that, just that. Like, are you more of a character driven kind of book lover, or are you more like action packed? Like, I don't I don't know what I like,
yeah,
because
I
I
think
want to fall in love with one of the characters at least. You know what I mean? Like, I want to feel something for them. Otherwise, you're not gonna have that emotional tie. And what's the point?
yeah, and in that one, the main character, the boy, his name is Fitz, and you will, I mean, I didn't cry but came close to it because it's like, ooh, the life he goes through. He has a rough life, and like
Yeah.
a lot of it's his own fault. He makes really dumb decisions, and like you get mad at him as you read it. You're like, you like,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
it's really really good. And I've heard that the later, because it's broken up into, I think, four trilogies, and then I think one of the series has four books.
Okay.
And I've heard that the later trilogies are like when he's an adult, that they're even better. Like,
Hmm.
and it's got a cool magic system, cool premise. So it's like it is slower though. It's not
Okay.
action packed.
Okay.
There's not like especially in the first book, there's not battles. There's not, it's a lot about him learning about
Okay.
life.
Okay. All right.
Without giving too much away,
I
he
was
is
just
the
curious.
bastard child. No, but he's the bastard child of a prince,
Okay.
and at 5 years old, he gets dropped off at the castle, and his mother's like, "You raise him. I'm done with this."
All
So
right.
it's like he's not really welcome at the castle, but he is, and it's like, so it's a lot of him figuring out what, living in a castle versus living on a farm is, and realizing what his place is as a bastard. And
Hmm. Might have to add that to my list.
it's a really really good. Like at the end of the first trilogy, I was blown away at how much it changed in his life, and just especially the way the third one ends is like you're kind of heartbroken but kind of happy, and
Okay.
it's yeah, I honestly, she's one of my favorite authors.
Oh, okay. All right.
she
Shoot. All right.
she's really good, but I do also get like, I I was talking to someone yesterday on the podcast, and he said he read the first book and he couldn't wait for it to be over, but he very much likes plot driven books.
Right.
And it's like, if plot is your thing, I can see how it would be slow for you,
Yeah.
but I think they're incredible.
I'm willing to give it a shot, you know?
Yeah, I
Hmm.
think it's worth it, and especially if you're okay with series. Some people don't like long series. You've
Oh,
driven head first into a bunch of them.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I have tattoos for them on my arms. So yeah, I'm good. I'm good with
Yeah,
series.
I haven't gotten that far. I haven't gotten that far yet, but
Oh, hyperfixations, obsessive personality. It's a thing. Yeah, we're 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 fine here. Oh
now,
goodness,
real quick, I just noticed that we've already passed the hour mark.
we're
Before
just
we
chatting.
go, before we go, I also do like to check in with people because I call it books and beyond. The
Hmm.
beyond portion, outside of reading, what do you like to do with your free time? Do you have any other passions, hobbies that you're very into,
Oh
or is
yeah,
it reading like most of us?
I would say reading.
Reading only.
I would say in the summertime, catch me on the water. I live on the river, so out on the boat all the time. Or I'm working. Um, Hanging out with friends. Yeah, reading. Yeah, I'm a little social butterfly too, so I got my people, and that's pretty much it. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's good, and that's what I love about the book talk community is
yeah.
it's a virtual way to get your people in sometimes.
Mhm. I would say content creation is a big part of that. So it's like reading and then book talk. So
It's it it's funny you say that because it's like that's what I've realized is like I don't know how to tell most people that, but my biggest hobby outside of reading has become content creation.
yeah,
And like I said, a year ago, I never thought I would make a single video, and now here I am talking for an hour on a podcast, sticking my
yeah,
face on the internet once a week.
love
Super socially anxious me.
that. Oh man, that's awesome. Now
But
I
where
yeah.
where where can people find you? Are you on Instagram? Do you have like a Bookstagram? Do you have a YouTube still, or
I have it. Yes. So everything is Sam Boyd reads across the board. So yeah,
okay?
yeah, for sure.
And I'll make sure that I throw all of the links to those in the description down below.
Ooh, awesome. Oh my
And
god.
thank you so much for joining me.
Of course. This is awesome. This is my first podcast. So yay.
I love that, and we can definitely do this again sometime. Maybe when we
Cool.
both finish Red Rising or whenever.
Awesome. Yay. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks
All
so
right, and
much.
thank you everybody for taking a little bit of time out of your week to join me again on Books and Beyond. I will see you next week.